Well. Microsoft has pulled an Xbox 180. Now, for those of you who may be living under a rock and haven't caught today's news, Microsoft has reversed the policies that the Xbox One will have to require an internet connection for 24-hour check-ins. Reversing the policy so that sharing games and using physical media will be just like it was on Xbox 360. So, away with the 24-hour check-ins, and now you'll be able to buy and sell used games and share with your friends and all that jazz. And I was expecting this news to come along eventually. Maybe not so soon, but I was expecting it. And it was actually kind of bittersweet for me. Now, it's still great news because they've taken a step back in the right direction, which was to do nothing at all in the first place. But they've still done what they've done. The damage has been dealt, and you can't undo what you've already said. I mean, yeah, you can actually undo the policies, but you've made a permanent stain in your reputation. So now, even though the Xbox One is going to start doing better, I'm sure, Microsoft is even harder to trust now. I mean, they're still the company that tried to push these restrictions for the past few weeks. They're still the company that said, if you don't like it, buy an Xbox 360. I mean, within that short amount of time, they did a lot to damage themselves, and a lot of people are still going to stick with the PlayStation 4. Now, the Xbox One does seem more appealing, but there's still things about it that I still don't agree with. For instance, the fact that it has to come with a Kinect. Now, even though an internet connection isn't required now, what about the games? Are they all going to be released requiring connection to the cloud? I mean, we don't know. I mean, I assume not, if they're talking about that it's going to be the exact same way as the Xbox 360, but it's still a good question. What about the MPAA? Are they going to still have access to the Kinect so that if there's more people in the room than they want, that there's going to be additional fees, or otherwise the movie won't play that you rented? So there's still a lot of questions and still a lot of controversy surrounding this thing, and I don't think it's been fully, made up for, and I think some people are just not going to forgive Microsoft in general for what they've done. And not to mention that, the PlayStation 4 still doesn't have any of this controversy surrounding it, really. And, it's $100 less. So people are still going to opt to go with the PlayStation 4. I mean, yeah, once again, yes, people are going to buy the Xbox One now, more so than before anyways, but the PlayStation 4 actually still seems more appealing to me. And a lot of people might tell you that you should contribute the reversal of these policies on the Xbox One to what they did at E3 with the PlayStation 4. But the fact is, the reason Sony never implemented the same things to begin with is because of the outcry, because so many people said, no, we're not going to put up with this. And to quote Bob Chipman, aka Movie Bob, "Hey guys, let's not let this become a Sony-forced Xbox to concede story. We, the consumers and journalists, made this happen to both consoles." And that is very true. If it wasn't for the public outcry and the outrage that came after the Xbox One reveal, then, Sony might have done the same exact thing. I mean, it's not really news, not to me anyways, that Sony was actually considering imposing the same type of restrictions. But again, they were smart about it and didn't impose those restrictions, and now Microsoft had no other choice but to go ahead and do this. And, they're still not really, they still don't really care about what the consumer thinks. I mean, in a way they do, because what the consumer thinks is going to have an effect on their sales, but that's to the extent of it. How much of that opinion is going to affect their sales? If the Xbox One was outselling the PlayStation 4 right now in pre-orders, then they probably wouldn't have reversed the dang thing. And what scares me is who's to stop them from reversing it yet again, pulling a 360. Okay, I'm not even. What is to stop them from pulling a whole 360 after a substantial amount of consoles have sold? They have to really do is roll out a firmware update or something, and it's right back to, well, you better install your games and link them to your account, otherwise you're not going to be able to play them now. So, what to do? There's still a lot of questions, and Microsoft is still dealt the damage that has been done. So I guess we'll just have to let it play out and see where it goes from here. But one thing's for sure, Microsoft, we're never going to forget this jackassery. And if your sales still suffer, you have no one to blame but yourselves.